Ladies, I'm going to say something today that might ruffle a few feathers. Older women need to shower more often than older men. Yes, really. And no, it's not because we smell worse. In fact, quite the opposite. But the reasons might just shock you. Stay with me to the end, because number 11 and 12, most women have never heard of them, and they could make a huge difference to how you feel every single day. Oh, and if you're watching, please give this video a like, leave a comment telling me your favorite shower products, and subscribe for more tips like this. Now, let's dive in. 1. Women's hormones make our skin more prone to bacteria as we age. As women, we're no strangers to how hormones can change our bodies from puberty through pregnancy and into menopause. But one thing many older women don't realize is how dramatically these hormonal shifts change the surface of our skin. Estrogen, that wonderful hormone we relied on for so many years, naturally declines as we get older. What does this have to do with showers? Quite a bit, actually. Lower estrogen levels change the pH balance of our skin. A younger woman's skin tends to be more acidic, which naturally helps protect it from bacteria and irritation. But after 60, our skin becomes less acidic, and bacteria love a less acidic environment. That's why maintaining cleanliness becomes so important for older women. Regular, gentle washing helps to do what our natural body chemistry no longer can: keep harmful bacteria in check. Without this habit, older women are more likely to suffer from skin infections, rashes, or even fungal conditions, things men are statistically less prone to at our age. 2. We sweat differently, and often more subtly. People often assume men are the sweatier sex, and on the surface that's true. They're more likely to sweat buckets during exercise or in the heat. But here's the catch: women sweat differently. As we age, our sweat glands don't necessarily stop working. They just shift their activity. Instead of big, obvious sweat patches under the arms like younger men might have, older women often develop more targeted areas of sweating. Under the breasts, around the waistband, behind the knees, and even in the groin area, places we don't always think to check. These spots can become breeding grounds for odor, bacteria, and skin irritation. The worst part, because the sweat isn't always visible, we might assume we're fine and skip that extra shower. But over time, this leads to buildup, rashes, and sometimes even yeast infections. So while we might not look sweaty, trust me, our bodies know differently, and they'll thank us for the extra wash. 3. Skin folds increase with age. Sorry, it's true. Let's talk about something most women avoid admitting: skin changes. Even the thinnest, most active older woman will notice over time that skin begins to fold and crease in new ways. Gravity, loss of elasticity, and the simple passage of time create little pockets where moisture and bacteria love to hide. Under the breasts, under the arms, around the waist, between the thighs. These areas didn't used to need extra attention when we were younger. But now, they absolutely do. When skin rubs on skin, it creates warmth and moisture. Add in sweat even light amounts, and you have a perfect recipe for bacterial and fungal growth. Showers help wash away the buildup in these delicate areas, preventing discomfort, rashes, and sometimes even infections that can require medical treatment if left unchecked. Men typically don't deal with this to the same degree, which is why older women need to be more vigilant. 4. More prone to urinary leaks. Here's a topic that many women feel embarrassed to discuss openly, but we really shouldn't. Bladder leaks happen, whether it's a result of childbirth decades ago, hormonal changes, or simply weaker pelvic floor muscles with age. Small leaks can, and do, happen to many older women. Even the tiniest leaks can cause discomfort, skin irritation, or unpleasant odors if not cleaned away properly. Unlike sweat, urine has a distinct chemical composition that can quickly break down on the skin, leading to rashes or even infections like urinary tract infections if hygiene is neglected. Frequent Thorough showering isn't just about smelling fresh. It's about maintaining healthy, irritation-free skin. And with so many women experiencing this quietly, showering regularly is simply part of respecting our bodies as they change. 5. Our hairline and scalp become oilier. This one surprises a lot of older women. We tend to think of aging skin as becoming dry, and in many areas that's true. But the scalp and areas around the hairline can go through their own transformation thanks to those same pesky hormones. Postmenopause, our oil glands can sometimes go into overdrive, especially around the scalp, behind the ears, and along the jawline. You might notice greasier hair than you had in your 40s or 50s, and even feel like your hair doesn't stay fresh as long between washes. This isn't vanity. That buildup can harbor bacteria, cause itching, and even contribute to follicle inflammation or hair thinning. Regular showers help keep the scalp balanced, the follicles clear, and your hair looking its best, even if you're wearing it short or tucked neatly under a hat most days. Men often shave their heads or keep their hair shorter, so they simply don't face the same issues. For women, regular cleansing becomes non-negotiable. 6. Perfumes, lotions, and makeup build up faster. Ladies, let's be honest with ourselves. We love our products. Whether it's a light dusting of face powder, a swipe of blush, a dab of perfume behind the ears, or a comforting layer of body lotion, we tend to layer on far more than the men do. These products don't just disappear into thin air. They cling to the skin, creating layers that, over time, can clog pores, contribute to body odor, or cause irritation if they're not properly washed away. Even light makeup or body spray builds up, especially in warmer months when sweat and heat interact with those products. Men typically aren't layering skincare serums, foundations, or perfume oils. That's why we need to shower more often to keep our skin clean and healthy. Otherwise, we're walking around with a cocktail of old products, sweat, and environmental grime on our skin, and no moisturizer in the world can make that feel good. 7. Our immune system weakens first. Here's something most people don't realize. Women's immune systems tend to show signs of weakening earlier than men's as we age. It's part of why we're more prone to autoimmune diseases, joint inflammation, and skin sensitivities later in life. But what does that have to do with showers? A lot, actually. Weaker immune defenses mean we're less resilient to things like fungal infections, bacterial rashes, and even small wounds becoming infected. A patch of skin irritation that might heal quickly in a younger woman could fester or worsen in an older one if hygiene isn't properly maintained. Showering regularly helps create a clean, protective barrier against the daily buildup of bacteria and pollutants that our skin faces. When our body's natural defenses aren't as strong as they once were, our hygiene routines become even more critical. Clean skin isn't just about feeling fresh. It's an extra layer of protection. 8. Body odor can change after menopause, and not for the better. Let's have an honest conversation here. Postmenopausal body odor is a real thing. Our sweat glands don't function quite the same, and neither does the way our body processes hormones. The scent we give off, even when we're clean, can change, sometimes becoming stronger or more sour. It's not because we're dirty or unkempt. It's simply biology. The bacteria on our skin break down, sweat differently when our hormones shift. Some women notice their underarms smell different, or that their body seems to hold on to odors more than it did at 40 or 50. Frequent showers help combat this naturally, washing away the bacteria before it has a chance to turn sweat into odor. And while men experience changes too, women's tend to be more noticeable, especially in areas like the chest, underarms, and groin. A regular shower routine is our best defense. 9. Women's skin holds onto dead skin cells more readily. One of the sneaky things about aging is how our skin stops doing its job as efficiently. Cell turnover slows down. This means dead skin cells that used to slough off naturally hang around longer, giving us that dry, flaky, or dull appearance. But it's more than just looks. Dead skin cells trap dirt, sweat, oils, and bacteria, leading to itching, irritation, and even breakouts. Yes, breakouts can still happen after 70. Showering regularly helps encourage the gentle removal of these cells, keeping skin fresh, clean, and comfortable. Exfoliating scrubs or cloths aren't necessary every day, but warm water and a mild soap are enough to help our aging skin stay free from buildup. Men don't typically layer on as many creams, perfumes, or products as women do, and their skin is often thicker and oilier. Ours? It needs a little more TLC and more frequent washing. 10. Certain medical conditions affect us differently. As we age, women are more likely than men to develop conditions like thyroid disorders, diabetes, and autoimmune diseases, all of which can have surprising effects on how our bodies smell, sweat, and respond to hygiene routines. For example, poorly managed diabetes can lead to more frequent fungal infections, skin irritation, and even a distinct body odor some people describe as musty or yeasty. Thyroid issues can make you sweat more or less, which can throw off your usual hygiene rhythm. Because these medical conditions hit women harder and earlier, we often need to adapt our hygiene habits sooner than men do. More frequent showers help manage the side effects, keeping us comfortable, confident, and less prone to embarrassing or uncomfortable skin issues. 11. Breast and underarm hygiene requires more attention. Let's talk about a subject no one warned us about when we were younger: how much extra attention our breasts and underarms need as we age. Whether you've had surgery, experienced weight changes, or simply lived long enough for gravity to have its way, chances are there are now folds and creases under and around your chest that didn't used to be there. These folds trap moisture from sweat, heat, and even body lotions, creating the perfect environment for rashes, irritation, and yeast infections. The same goes for underarms, where the skin thins and changes texture with age. Showering more frequently ensures these areas stay clean, dry, and less prone to discomfort. Skip too many days and you'll notice redness, itching, or worse. It's not vanity, it's health. Men don't usually have the same issues with underbreast moisture or as many skin-on-skin areas to monitor. That's why this point applies far more to women. 12. We tend to socialize in closer spaces. One final, and perhaps surprising, reason women socialize differently. Think about it. We lean in for hugs, sit closer together during conversations, and generally value physical closeness in our friendships and families. Because of this, our personal hygiene habits affect others more directly. Whether it's the faint scent of yesterday's perfume turning sour or a little perspiration trapped under a blouse, these things are far more noticeable in close quarters. Showers aren't just for our benefit. They're a kindness to those around us. Maintaining freshness is part of maintaining dignity, respect, and comfort, both for ourselves and for others. Men tend to keep a bit more distance socially. Women, we're up close, laughing over tea or chatting on the couch. Hygiene matters.